All right, this is a part two of the video that I took in my house. Um, Now, I don't want people to, you know, be sort of confused or something like that. It's not that she doesn't give me anything to eat. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that she's very lazy in the morning. She gets up very late sometimes at 8, at 7. To me, that's late, man. I'm cleaning the house at 3 o'clock in the morning, at 4, at 5, like that. I mean, I'm up. I'm up before she is anyway. Sometimes I get up at 2 and I do things or whatever. I don't know. I don't time it all, whatever. And it's not every day that I get up at 3 or 4. It's just different times. So, and yesterday, like for example, um, she doesn't tell me where she's going. She went with Tita Grace outside, um, and someone said that she went to Bogo, and then she said, "No, I didn't go to Bogo. I just went to the sort of the Camino or whatever, and I got some chicken here, some chicken for you." So she does buy me food, but sometimes it's very sporadic. And for example, yesterday, she said, she made me soup and noodles. We call them noodles, but soup. We call them soup. They call them noodles and rice, and stuff like that. Because she said, I said, honey, what's for dinner? And she said, that's what I'm thinking. That means it's nothing. And I'm so sick and tired of that. You know what I'm saying? Um, and then she asked me if I wanted, noodles with which is soup. And I said, yeah, put a little rice in it and stuff like that, and I'm fine. But, you know, so sometimes it's just the same things. It's eggs all the time, or rice all the time, or there's no, it's just because of the loan. The loan also, that we don't have a refrigerator, so I mean, it's very hard to conjure up your own food. You have to depend if the pork is available. You have to depend if this person is selling. You have to depend. So it's not all her fault. I'm not saying that's all her fault, okay? But I am saying in the morning, I have to get her out of bed. Wait for a second. I think that's her coming. I mean, I have to get her out of bed. I have to get her out of bed and say, listen, I need to eat. I need to eat because I'm legally blind and my eyes can suffer, okay, if I don't eat. So if a lot of people saying, well, Angelo, why are you making such a big deal that you don't eat? I mean, you look okay to me. First of all, I came over here. I actually look like Atiyan's son. Like I was big like that. I was bigger than that, actually. And I'm shorter than he is. I was bigger. I was much bigger than that, than him. And when I came over here, I'm talking about because my face was like really fat. I mean, I was big, you know, and I was to that degree. And if I would have stayed in the United States of America, I would have been 270 pounds probably by now, which is not good. It's not healthy. So thank God I'm losing weight now. I understand that. Thank God that the weight that I had in the United States is gone. So it's good for my health. It's good for my blood pressure. It's good for everything. But when I'm saying I don't like irresponsibility, when I tell her to buy, for example, certain things so it could last through the month, and then she does it, and then we don't have, and then we have to spend. Well, it's the same thing anyway. We don't have, and you have to spend in the middle or the end of the month. I just don't like that. I like buying things for the whole month. That's just me. That's what I used to do, and she knows that, because she used to talk to me on Messenger while I was in a supermarket in the United States of America. So she knows the boatload that I used to carry. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? The boatload of stuff that I used to carry. Okay, in the shopping cart. I mean, tons of juice and tons of chicken and tons of it. And I can't do that now because we don't have a refrigerator. I understand that, you know. But there is a level of laziness in the morning. Like, oh, I'm so tired, I don't want to get up. And knowing that I told her several times that I understand how you feel, I'm tired also. I mean, we're sleeping on the floor in a mattress, and my back is killing me also, and I'm so tired, and sometimes I'm sick, and sometimes my bones hurt, and I do more heavy work than you. But I always get up in the morning and clean the house and do my things because my mother used to be like that. See, the thing is that I'm like my mother and she's like her mother. And her mother and my mother are complete opposites. Opposites. First of all, my mother was a godly person. Rebecca's not. You understand what I'm saying? She's not. And then my mother was she just used to keep the house clean, and her mother's not like that. So you're gonna get the tendencies and stuff like that are gonna rub off from the parents. So if you had a dirty parent or parents, it's gonna rub off on you. You're gonna be dirty in your house. My mother used to say, you keep your house clean to such a degree that if the president of the United States, and let's switch it to the president here, they say if Marcos came over here and you had your house like the way you have it before I clean it, what would he think of you? Forget about the bricks and stuff like that, because okay, under construction, that I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the table is filthy sometimes. Filthy. The floor is not swept. The bed is not made. I mean, that's laziness though. And there's no excuse, because there's people that with cancer that gets up and clean. My mother used to have such a pain in her bones when she got older because she had a bone disease, that it was very, very, very painful for her, that it felt like cancer, and she still got up and cleaned early in the morning and stuff like that. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. And my mother was 68 when she died. Riza's only 36, going on 37. There's no excuse for that. There's no excuse to be dirty. There's no excuse to be irresponsible, not telling your husband where you go, not taking care of the children even more better than you do, not letting them fall, or whatever the case may be. There's no excuse for that. She has perfect eyesight. I could see if it was somebody blind that had to take care of their child, and then the person dropped the child, or whatever the case may be. That's bad also, but still. I mean, I know people who are blind that take care of their children more better than Riza does. Blind. I know a lot of blind people. My sister's legally blind, and she used to keep the house. I mean, she still keeps the house very clean. If you see videos and pictures and stuff like that of Jeanette's house, I mean, Jeanette's house is squeaky clean. We don't speak now. We don't speak now. We don't. She just has her way of doing things. I have my way of doing things. I mean, we just don't connect. But I love my sister, and one thing that she does, she keeps her house clean as a whistle. And that's not the most important thing, though. You can have your house clean and go to hell. The difference is, the underlying difference between me and Riza is, I'm a child of God, and she is not, at least acting like one. Now, she doesn't have really a bad attitude these days and stuff like that, but it might be the result, but she don't want to say too much because she knows I get alone every once in a while and stuff like that. The differences between me and Riza is this, and Jesus said, don't think that Jesus came to bring peace upon the earth. You don't know the Bible if you think that. Coming, my love. Jesus said, I did not come to bring peace upon the earth, but a sword. Let me get rid of this little thing. But a sword. A physical sword? Did you hurt people? No. A spiritual sword that causes division among people. He came to bring separation. I'm not talking about like separation between, a man and a woman, though that can happen because of the sword, because of the separation between a Christian and non-Christian. I'm not going to say that Riza's not a Christian, but she doesn't act. Jesus is not number one in her life. Let's just put it like that. Jesus is not, what's number one in Riza's life is paying her bills, is being worried all the time, how I'm going to pay this, I'm going to pay that. That's fine to old man don't owe man anything. It says in Romans chapter 13, owe man nothing but to love one another. So God doesn't want you to owe, It's just we're two different people. Forget about Christianity for now. Forget about that I love the Bible and she doesn't. I mean, that I love the Lord Jesus. She does not. She doesn't act like she loves him. You understand what I'm saying? I love God's people. She doesn't. I love the church. She does not. And she said, oh, well, you had an argument with the pastor, and that's why we don't even go there anymore and stuff like that. So why aren't you going? There's no excuse. Why aren't you going? I'm going to be going and seeking a church, because it's very hard for me to do. I'm going to ask somebody because I don't know this territory. I don't know where I'm at, to tell you the truth. I can't. I'm going to have to ask somebody, But she has no excuse. She has no kid coming. She was born here. She was 36 years in Don Pedro, in the same area. So If you want to go to church so much, why don't you go? Don't give me this excuse that Angelo had an argument with the pastor about him preaching about money too much and stuff like that, and that's why we don't even go. That's why I don't even go. I'm not saying that you couldn't go, so why don't you go? Because she has no desire to. She has no desire in serving the Lord. She has no desire. I mean, that's not in her plans. It's not in her goals. It's not in her schemes. That's in mine. It's not in hers. Her goals, her plans, her schemes, her desire is to get rich, to get to pay BB, to pay the people that she owe. Her plans is to go probably to the Middle East or to Australia or to Europe and work, or to Cebu. That's her plan. That's her number one aim in life, is to fulfill physical things. That's not a woman of the Lord. A woman of the Lord, the woman of the Lord's first desire, okay, first of all, if she's married, is toward her husband. But outside of that, the number one desire in a godly woman's life, read it in Proverbs chapter 31, what a woman of the Lord is. It tells you everything right there. Do you match? You can't even compare. So, the food and stuff like that, I mean, listen, she's okay. But man, I need to eat in the morning because my eyes can't suffer because of you. I need to maintain my eyesight. I'm 58 years old. By the grace of God, I can still see. If I didn't take care of myself and drank and smoked, I'm not a drinker, I'm not a smoker, I'm not a gambler, I'm not a partier. It doesn't mean that I don't like birthday parties and stuff like that. I'm all for that. But I don't do any of those things because, first of all, they're wrong to do. Okay? I'm talking about gambling and smoking and drinking is bad for your body. That's what killed my father. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not about to hurt my eyes, but you can't get up at 8 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock in the morning. And she still would have been, in most of these times, she still will be sleeping until 9 or 8 o'clock if I don't tell her, honey, you know something? I need to eat. I'm hungry. It's irresponsible. It's irresponsibility to act like that towards your husband. You got women getting up early in the morning, cooking for their husbands and stuff like that, and she's over there sleeping. Man, she's not see, Reza thinks she's not married. That's the problem. And a lot of people protect her rear end. A lot of people protect her. Oh, she's just, she loves you. Yeah, but she don't show it. Don't tell me that she loves me, because she doesn't prove it while I'm living with her. You understand what I'm saying? Don't tell me that she loves you. You know nothing about reason how she acts in the house. You don't sleep with her. You don't used to bathe with her. You don't sleep just normal sleep with her. You're not in the house. Not that she's here, 100% of the time. Okay, fine. That's she's outside doing some stuff and doing her little beads and stuff like that. Or whatever. She gets advice from everybody that's not a Christian. And then she mixes it in a bag and does things that are not working out for her. Instead of, getting advice from godly people in a church or whatever the case may be, and then doing that. She listens to Bondi and Naomi and her mother and Kathy, who has done nothing in their lives.